Starts. Okay, perfect. There we go. All right, sharing my screen. So this is the economic calendar. Again, we look at this every Sunday just to see what's happening, because the economic calendar can help us gauge which way the market can potentially be going. We can see very important dates to let us know, okay, if this is happening, this could drive the market down. So you may want to not trade this day, or if you're in any trades, you may want to get out before this happens, just so that you can stay out the way, because a lot of times with these meetings that happens, there's no right or wrong. All the technical analysis go out the window, and it's just whatever is said in that meeting can drive the market up or down. So we always just like to stay clear of that. This week, it doesn't look like we have any Fed meetings. I know last week we had Jerome Powell speaking, and that's why we saw a decrease in the market for anticipation on that talk. But it looks like this week, Tuesday, we have durable goods going out, good orders going out. And that's going to help with manufacturing sector. We have Thursday, GDP growth rate. And then Friday, we have core price consumer index. So we don't have a lot of, we don't have a lot of important things happening. We do have these two, the GDP growth rate and the core price index happening. But again, that happens towards the end of the week. So we have a lot of trading range to go here. It is no slots for Monday and Wednesday. So just be a little bit careful. Every week you should be careful, just because we don't know with Trump if he's going to put a meeting on the calendar. Again, if Trump puts a meeting on the calendar, it becomes very important, because whatever he says in the market, whatever he says in that meeting will drive the stock market either up or down. So if you're saying good things, it's probably going to bring the stock market up. But if you're saying something bad, it'll bring it down. So you just always want to be careful and pay attention every single week that you see any meetings. And then let me have to share my screen again, because, well, no, I don't. I can just go from here. So let's look at the SPY just to see if we can determine how the market is going to be moving this week. We can see. So let's clear out some of this thing. So last week, again, in anticipation of the Fed meeting or Jerome Powell speech on Friday, we saw the market decreasing up until his speech. Once he had his speech, we can see on the Friday, the market turned green. And what can potentially happen this week? All right, so let's try to draw some support and resistance just to see if we can figure out like where the market can potentially go. So if the market was to currently priced at $645 on the SPY, if we was to break this 646 range, or this resistance that we can draw at the top here, which is basically all-time highs for the SPY, we could be seeing this get up to 650. That's going to be the next range that it's going to go, because this is the all-time highs level. You like to, once you get to the all-time highs, I start telling people to treat your target prices and treat where the stock price can potentially get to in a $5 to $10 increment. So because it's the SPY, I like to use $5 increments. So we'll probably, if it breaks above this resistance, we'll probably see some type of rejection around 650 or 655. For the most part, it's probably going to be 650. So that'll be the next spot that it can potentially make it to this week, if it was to continue to go up. So we'll draw a line somewhere about 650, and I'll turn this line yellow. Oops. Turn this line yellow. All right, so 650 is going to be our height potential place where they can get to if the SPY was to continue to go up. So if it breaks up 645, again, we could be seeing 650. Now, let's draw some support. So support is going to be the bottom. That's going to be the floor, or what I like to say is potential trampoline, but we can look at it as the floor. This is going to be where, when it hits this price, we're going to see some type of rejection on this level. So for here, we like to treat our moving averages as our support and resistance. We can see that this 20, this orange line we have here, is going to be the spot to where the stock price can potentially go. So if the stock was to be going down, again, we'll be looking at this stock price to potentially make it to about 635. That's where it can potentially get to if it was to continue to pull back. Do I have any questions so far? We'll be saying a lot. And then also, let me get rid of this Bollinger Band. Not sure why that's up there. Yep, I have a question. Let me see what was that. Stefan, you have a question for me?
Yeah, thank you. I noticed that you put the support at the moving average line.
Mhm.
What is the reason for that?
Yeah. So you always treat your moving averages as either support or resistance. So if the stock price is above the moving averages, you treat it as support because a lot of times when it hits this level, you're going to see some type of rejection. So we can see here, stock price went beneath the moving average, but then it instantly went back up. Even back here, we can see stock price was going down. So, and they treated this moving average as a trampoline or resistance, and it's our support at this point. It rejected it and it continued to go up. So these moving averages are really key indicators to where the stock price can potentially make it to. So that's why I'm using this as my support, because I'm saying, okay, I know if the stock price dips down, it's going to come and test this range, and maybe it rejects or maybe it doesn't. But from here, I know this is a major point to where it's going to go. Did that answer your question? Does that make sense?
Can I ask one more question on this topic?
Yeah.
So this moving average that is used, what kind of moving average it is, and what is the window size for this moving average?
Yeah, so this is a simple moving average. So it's just taking the average. And this is the first one you see here is going to be the 20-day moving average. Then we have the 50-day moving average. This is the 100 and the 200. And we can take off just to stop it from having so many. We'll take off the 100 and the 200 for now, just so we can just have two. So those are the moving averages. I have a 200, a 20 moving average, and a 50 moving average right here.
Okay.
And again,
Thank
this
you.
is a strong line. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely wrong. Yeah, so that's why I'm treating this as my support. So in this case, if we was to have a decent sized candlestick break beneath my 20-day moving average, the next place I know that it's probably going to come and try to test is going to be that 50-day moving average. So we can have a nice strong break to the downside of 634, 635. We'll probably be seeing the SPY get to about 625. Again, we're right now at this level. We have a little bit more room to the upside potentially, just looking at the other indicators. But just for a start, we'll say that first support is 635. If it breaks beneath that, we'll be seeing about 625. So a $10 decrease if it was to break underneath that. Good question. I think I might have had another question in the chat. No, but I have somebody coming. Okay, perfect. All right. So that's the. Oh, I did it. There we go. All right, so yeah, those are my support and resistance lines. So looking at the stock and just looking at the other indicators, again, we do. For me personally, I'm thinking the SPY is in the no man's land right now. Like it hasn't determined if it's going to go up or down. My deciding factor is, can we break above this 645 range? If we can break above 645, then I can say, okay, we'll probably see about 650 this week in the market. And now if we reject this 645 range, then we're going to be going down and seeing 635. Looking at the indicators, the RSI level, we are getting relatively to that over BART region, and the RSI level, which stands for relative strength index, it lets you know if a stock is hot or cold, or if it's being overbought or oversold. So anytime this RSI level is getting up to the 70 range, these horizontal dashes at the top, that's telling us that the stock price, a lot of people have been buying it, and eventually it needs to cool down. Eventually, people are going to start to sell, and the stock price is going to go down. So and we have a sweet spot. So when we're getting in trades, we like to tell people if the RSI level is pointing up and is in between 45 and 55, that's a good indication that you have room to the upside that you can get into the trade. So for the SPY, it's a little bit high. It's at about 63. But again, you do have room because this RSI level tends to try to get to about 70 in the value. So we do have room to the upside on there. And that's why I say if we break above our resistance level, we'll be seeing this get to that target price of about 650. We had another person come in. All right. And the next thing I like to look at to help me determine which way the stock price is going to go is going to be the stochastic. So the stochastic RSI just lets you know as well how much momentum it has. It just lets you know how much momentum the RSI level has. So because we have this stochastic in the middle, it's letting us know that, hey, we do have potential that we can get back to this 100 range. So the stochastic RSI likes to treat 100 and then it likes to go to 0. So we're at 50. At first, we was at about 100 and we started to decrease and go to 0. But again, the meeting with the Feds went relatively good for the market and we started to see a turnaround. So we have that stochastic RSI level also turning around. So with that turnaround, we're definitely going to start to see this try to get back to that 100 range. And with that, that's going to give us the momentum to the upside we need to potentially see it continue to go up. And then lastly, if we look at the MACD, which is my moving average convergence divergence, basically the way that this works is anytime the blue line, I'm trying to reset this. Okay, it's a little bit better. Anytime the blue line is above the red line, the stock price 9 times out of 10, you will be seeing it increase in value. And once the blue line gets beneath the red line and it starts to trend downwards, you'll start to see the stock price decrease in value as well. Okay. So if we was to compare this with the stock price, we can see, if I just go back again, we're really close to the blue line where the blue line started to go down and we see that it's starting to turn around. So we're really close to another MACD crossover to where the buying pressure can cross above this selling pressure. And if that happens, what we should see is an increase in the stock price. So with that happening, again, that should drive us back up to about 650. If we was to have this crossover happen, we'll see the stock price for the SPY get to 650. And if the SPY is increasing and is going up, then for the majority of the market, you'll also see the majority of the market going up as well. So that'll indicate a green day. So we could see a couple of green days this week. Again, Monday, if we open up above 645, we're 9 times out of 10 going to be seeing the SPY get to about 650. Have another person coming in. Victor. All right. Any questions on the SPY? All right. Any questions on anything I've mentioned?
Can you again tell me the difference between the blue and the red MACD line?
Yeah. So the blue line is going to be your buying pressure. This is just for buyers. And the red line is going to be the selling pressure. And again, anytime you see the buying pressure, the blue line above the red line, you're going to be seeing the stock price increasing in value. And if you was to see the blue line underneath the red line, you're going to then be seeing the stock price decreasing in value. And if we correlate it, you can see right here, blue line is above the red line. Overall, again, it's not going to be clean, but overall, you see the stock prices went from, we'll say 509 as that blue line was up. You can see it went up all the way to 593. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely welcome. Great questions. Any other questions? Perfect. All right. So that's for the SPY again. If it was to break above 645, we'll be seeing it. We'll be seeing an uptrend in the market. We'll be seeing the market going up to about 650 for the SPY. And ultimately, that'll be causing the entire market or most of the market to be going up. Now, does anyone have any stocks that they would like for me to look over? Should I put them, ask for them in the chat right away?
Hey, Mark, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, what kind of software is that you're using?
Yeah, so this software is TradingView. This is a TradingView. It's a charting platform used just to chart out stocks. They for the free version, I think you get about 2 or 3 indicators. If you wanted to have more indicators, you'll have to pay for the premium version, and you'll be able to access more indicators. Another good platform to have, if you don't want to pay for a platform, would be stock charts. they're user friendly for looking at
Mhm.
chart as well. So
Can
stock
you
charts.
put the link in the comment?
Yeah, I put the link for both of them in the comment.
Sure. Okay, can you for individual stock, can you look for THAR, THAR?
Give me 1 second. Let me get this link first.
Hi, Mark.
Review and stock chart.
I wanted to ask you something before you move away from the SPY, if that's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. You had a question?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, what would you advise? It's just a general question. Do you consider like trading SPY for like people who do like trading on day-to-day basis, or like for like investment purposes if you want to put your money for like 3 or 5 years, something like that?
Like stocks for long-term investing?
Yeah. I'm asking you, is it like for SPY, for like an ETF like SPY? Can you consider it like for like day trading, or it's only for investment purposes?
Oh, for the SPY. Yeah. So for right now, this is just going to be like for the week. It's not for like the entire time frame. If you wanted to look for an overall view of how the SPY could be trading for a long time, you want to check out longer time frames. So you can check out the week just to get you a standpoint. Like if we look at the week for the SPY,
Mhm.
we've seen a decrease, and then you can go even further out. But if you're looking for long-term investments, I always just like to tell people to find companies that are reputable and that you have confidence that they can withstand this test of time. So I always like to talk to people about long-term investing, and I like to talk about Coca-Cola. We can look at Pepsi, Home Depot. UPS is a good buy right now for a long-term trade as well. But I like companies that have been established and they're slow growth, but again, you're going to be getting dividend payments and they're going to slowly be growing. So you don't have
So,
to necessarily look all the time.
so the example you gave is like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and
Mhm.
what else?
Yeah, you have Yum. Yum is another one. YUM. There there are multiple fast food restaurants. You have like Taco Bell, KFC in there,
Mhm.
and that's another good company. Again, slow growth, but those companies aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So they have like kind of a monopoly in that area.
Mhm.
And UPS, I've been opening up shares of UPS because they're relatively cheap right now. They're at about $90 at the moment, and
Mhm.
that stock right there will probably be like 200. Yeah.
Okay. So for future investment purposes, like are you going for things like S&P 500, or like you're going for individual companies for your stocks?
Yeah, so I have the S&P. I buy shares of the S&P, but overall, I just go for individual companies.
Okay.
I just like to choose the ones that I have the faith in and the knowledge. So again, Coca-Cola, I look at their earnings all the time. UPS is a new one for me that I started to open up a position on. Pepsi, Microsoft can be a good long-term hold. Meta has a nice little range going on as well.
Okay. Okay. And I think my last question is on the ETFs. If you are comparing like SPY or like VTI or like VOO, um, is there like any major difference when it comes to investing in these things, since they all track like S&P 500? Is there like any other advantage over the next one?
No, you'll probably have to start looking at like dividend payments. Again, the SPY has been my go-to for the ETFs. I don't necessarily trade any other ETF but the SPY. That's why I always chart out the SPY for everybody. But yeah, you'll start to look at like dividend rates and see how much room that they have to go up and what companies do they have in there in their indexes, right? So SPY is more so of a tech-heavy company, a tech-heavy investment. So you'll see companies like Google, Microsoft, whereas another company may be more heavy in manufacturing companies and things of that nature.
Okay. Okay. Then, did you consider like the expense ratio when you were picking SPY over like VPI or like QQQ, things like that?
Yeah. Yep. You'll definitely do that as well. That's something to take into account as well. Again, well, you want to take all of any things you can take into account. You want to make sure you're taking it into account because it'll help you pick the best one for you, which one is the most comfortable for you to invest in. Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely welcome. Okay, so I do see we have what about Bollinger Bands? And if you have to choose one indicator, which would be the best bet? Okay, so so Bollinger Bands, I trade them. I use it every now and then. I don't use it quite often. It's good to have it as well. Again, Bollinger Band has your 20-day moving average, and then you can help determine where it's going to get to just by looking at those two levels that they have within it. As far as if I had to choose just one indicator, what would be the best? I couldn't honestly just choose one indicator because a lot of times I like to be able to use indicators to confirm the direction that the stock is going, and I need multiple ones to do that. I don't think just one indicator can give you all of the information you need to get into a stock, or just to get into a play and to predict which way it's going to go. You're going to need multiple indicators to do that. So just having just one, yeah, I wouldn't be able to give you just my best one because I use multiple ones. I think maybe looking at patterns and seeing how the stock is moving could be a better bet, but just one indicator, yeah, I need multiple indicators for me personally. Maybe the stochastic RSI, but that would just be me just throwing one out there. I don't have like a best indicator because I use all of these in correlation with one another. Like when I get into a trade, I don't just look at just the RSI and say, okay, the RSI is in a nice spot, let me get into a trade. I need to make sure that I'm looking at the stochastic, my moving averages, my MACD, the volume of the stock before I get into it. So I need multiple things to be correct before I even get into this trade. Yeah, that's a good question. And then we have, okay, I see what would be a good entry for UPS, and then I also see Microsoft. Can we try out Microsoft? So yeah, we'll take a look at Microsoft, and then I can take a look at UPS. Give me 1 second. I need to. It's a lot happening. Sorry, just got a call at work, but fine. Okay, so Microsoft. Let's take a look. Let's check out the weekly real quick just to see. So overall, on the weekly chart of Microsoft for long term, it looks like it's decreasing, right? We have a really high RSI level pointing down, and we also have our stochastic RSI pointing down as well. So from a weekly standpoint, we could be seeing Microsoft continue to dip. Now, where will it potentially go? So the first place I'm gonna have Microsoft going if it continues to decrease, it's going to be here at about 480. And why am I choosing 480? Well, once this starts to dip again, this 20-week moving average we have here is going to start to go up, and it's going to get closer to this 480 line. So I'm just using 480 because I'm predicting that's where the moving average is going to be when this stock pulls back. And once that happens, we could see rejection. Also, we could be seeing this get even lower than that just because of we have a pending MACD crossover to the downside. It still has a little separation between the two, but the closer this blue line gets to that red line, again, that crossover to the downside, it could cause us to see a decrease in this stock price on the weekly. But looking at the daily, we could, for day trades for this week, we could be finding a nice little spot to go ahead and get into a quick play to the upside for Microsoft. Now, we'll need to establish a couple of things for the daily, the support and resistance. So the first place we'll talk about is the support. We have support on the weekly, but right now on the daily, we can see stock price is testing this 50-day moving average. And again, anytime the stock price is testing this level, we like to see if it's going to reject. So we see we had a couple of tests on the 50-day, and it looks like it's starting to turn around and want to increase. So we can make that a nice level of support for ourselves. So we have support at about 507, or excuse me, 505, 504, 504 as our support. So if it was to reject this level and continue to go up, I wouldn't just get in. So the next place it will go to is going to be the 20-day moving average, which is at about 518. So we can draw resistance at about 518. So right now, this is our first trading range. So this stock price goes up, starts to go up Monday. We'll probably be seeing this sometime this week get to about 518, if not on Monday, seeing this get to about 518. For me, I wouldn't trade it as it's gone to 518. What I want to do is I want to solidify that this stock is going to increase. So what I'll be waiting for is for the stock price to be able to break above this 518 level. If we can have a nice size candlestick break above 518 and hold, then I will feel comfortable going ahead and getting into a trade. And where would I trade it to? Well, I will make this level at about 532, 533 my target price. And I'll make it yellow, the target. So my target price would be about 533. So I would be waiting. Again, I like to make sure that I can solidify that the stock price is going to break above the resistance first. So once it breaks above 518, you can then start to get into your trades and use 533 as your target price. At this point, once it breaks above our support at 518, it will be seeing a few things happening. So right now, just as the market is static, we see that the RSI level is at 50, pointing. It's starting to point upwards. So it's inside about a sweet spot of 45, 55, and it is starting to point upwards. Then we also have, I'm in there as well. And we also have our stochastic. Our stochastic RSI is really low. And remember, like I said, if the stochastic is going to always try to get to two ranges, which is 0 and 100. So currently, we have already got to the 0 range, which is the bottom. So now it's going to start to try to get back to that 100 range. And with that, that's going to, you can see anytime the stock price is getting to going from 0 to 100, you can see stock prices going up. It's at 0, it's going up. It doesn't give you how high it's going to go up, but it is in the uptrend. And once it pulls back down and it starts to go up, we can see it's going up again. So we have that stochastic really low. So we know that it needs to get back to 100. So we have a lot of room to the upside for this to make it back to 534. And then lastly, again, MACD buying pressure does have a lot of separation on the selling pressure, which is the orange/red line. But once this stock price starts to trend up, or if it starts to trend up, we'll start to see our MACD get closer, the blue line get closer and closer to crossing above the red line. And with that, again, if the stock price gets to about 520, this crossover will be more and more possible to happen. And we'll see it'll be more likely to happen. And that's going to give us a lot of momentum to get to that 535 range. Any questions on Microsoft or how I would look to trade it this week? Perfect. All right, so just quick review. What I'm waiting for on Microsoft is for it to get above 518. If it gets above 518, it can hold. I feel comfortable getting into a trade to about 533, 535. And then, yep, Stephanie, you have a question?
So this analysis that you just did, does this apply to daily or weekly strategy?
Yeah, so this is going to be daily. So for this is going to be daily. So this week, this is what this strategy is looking like. So when Monday the market opens, this is when this takes effect. If you're looking for a longer term play on Microsoft, you may want to wait a little bit because again, when we looked at the weekly time frame for it, we can see that RSI level is pretty high, pointing downwards. Stochastic is pretty high. It's at that 100 range. So we know that this is trying to get back to 0. So we know that ultimately this is going to be coming back and cooling down. So it's going to have some type of cool down happening. How far it's going to get, couldn't tell you that. Again, the first place that I'm thinking it'll try to come to is about 480. And then before it gets to 480 again, it'll have to break beneath this 500 range. So if it can break beneath 500, we could be seeing this get to 480. Yep. And then we have a close MACD crossover to the downside as well. So all of those is on the weekly is telling me that overall, we probably will see Microsoft pull back a little bit for the rest of the year, or at least the next few weeks. Yeah. Okay. And then the vendor had questions about UPS. What would be a good entry for UPS? Yeah. So me personally, I've been getting the UPS. So I've originally got in UPS at about $100. It took this dip. I told myself, okay, I'm just going to load the boat. And I told people the first place that I was going to start buying or looking to heavily invest is at $80. It didn't get necessarily to 80. I did start buying around like $82, $83. I started to add more shares of this company. I even got into some call options just so that I can have some additional money. Right now this is a decent spot for you to get in. So if you're looking to open up a position, I would say just open up a position. Let's say you wanted to invest, I'll just say $1,000. Don't put the entire $1,000 here at 88. Just put like maybe $200-$300 of your investment in it at this point. And then what I would be doing is I would be waiting to see if it's going to pull back. And if it does pull back, you can add more shares to it. But at $88, this is still a good price to have because ultimately, look, we understand that UPS was once at about $200 per share. Again, interest rates started to rise. The economy is getting a little bit weaker, and we started to see, again, this UPS decline. Is UPS going out of business? No, they're not going out of business. It's just the economy is not in the best spot for UPS right now, currently at the moment. So this is why it's pulling back. Overall, this stock could be about $200, at least 150. So you'll be making about 100%, a little more than 100% of your money back overall at this point at $88. So right now isn't a bad time to buy. So I would be telling people, go ahead, look to get in now. This is a decent spot for it. UPS also pays dividends. They pay quarterly dividends. You can see for every share you have, you receive $1.64 each dividend payout. And they've been increasing these dividend ratios as well. Slowly but surely, it's been going up by a penny. So they're looking to become a dividend king as well. But yeah, but right now, the vendor, I'll say this is a decent time to go ahead and open up a position on them. If you wanted to wait, you can. Let's look at the daily just to see what's happening this week. You may be seeing a pullback. Yeah, so if you wanted to wait, you can. What could potentially happen, because we have a high stochastic, we may see UPS get to about $90, and then it starts to reject this level. Again, if we just scroll back, this is a nice place for resistance just because of this activity we have back here. So the stock probably will come and test about 90 and start to pull back. And when it pulls back, all you would do is, if you're looking at the daily and you use your moving averages, this 20-day moving average, once you see the stock price testing the 20-day moving average, if you can see a rejection on it, then that's a good indication to say, okay, this is probably the bottom. Let me go ahead and buy in there. And at that point, if it's testing the 20-day, that stochastic should also be low as well. So if it's testing the 20-day and my stochastic RSI is really low, then that can be a good place to go ahead and get in right there as well. That's what I'll be looking at. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. No problem. No problem. And Ross says Tesla may be going to 400. Yeah, let's take a look at Tesla real quick. Then we close down. Tesla may go to 400. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. Resistance. Yeah, Tesla is setting on the daily standpoint. Tesla is setting up to be nice. And we already had support here at about this level. So yeah, if Tesla was to break above 340, it definitely has room to get to about, at least for the next few weeks, to about 370 for sure. Looking at the daily RSI level is pointing up at about 56, just a little bit out the sweet spot. That's fine though, because look at this stochastic RSI. The stochastic RSI is starting to point upwards, trying to get back to that zero on that 100 range. So that's going to give us some nice momentum to the upside as well. And then MACD, trying to get it zoomed in as much as I can. MACD just had a crossover to the downside, and then it instantly crossed over to back to the upside. So this has room to start to increase as well on the MACD, and we see it was rejecting those moving averages. So when you have the stock price treat the moving average as a trampoline, that always signifies that we could continue to see the stock price increase in value. Ultimately, again, next few weeks, we may see it get to about $36 or $370. And then weekly has some nice momentum as well, setting up nice on the weekly as well. Yeah. So this does have a room to get to 370 and then ultimately trying to get back to this 400 range that we have. That's a good little call out, Ross. Okay. So I see we have one more. All right, so let me look at open and then I will close us out because I see we have one more stock in here. So we have open door technologies. So looking at the weekly standpoint of it, Open Door Technology has been going crazy. So they had an earnings report where they missed their earnings, but they hit on the revenue. Pretty sure they probably had some type of news, maybe an acquisition or a deal that they have with another company, and that's causing them to skyrocket and increase. I would be a little bit careful on trying to get into a position or putting a lot of money in there just because of where that RSI level is at. Again, that RSI level is pointing upwards, and then we have that stochastic RSI level high as well. Where can this stock potentially make it to? So this is resistance here at about 505. If it was to break above this level, then we'll be seeing it get to about 615. And if it was to go ahead and reject this level, we'll be seeing open potentially make it back to about $4, $3.92 here. This is where I would say that it can get to if it was to pull back on the weekly. And let's check out the daily just to see. Yeah, the daily is pretty high as well. RSI level is really high. Stochastic RSI level is also high. It has maybe a little bit more room to go up a little bit more, but ultimately, I'm thinking this is probably, we're going to see some type of cool down happening in the pullback. That pullback will probably take us back to that $4 range. Draw it up a little bit higher. It'll probably take us back to this $4 range, and then from there, I'll be looking to see, okay, what's happening. Can we reject the $4 and start to continue to go up? If it's rejecting $4 and it's trying to go back up, then that may open up a place for you to go ahead and get in that open. But if you're in open right now and you got in cheap, I would definitely say go ahead and look to at least take profits, take some profits off of what you've been making so far, because this is a nice spot to go ahead and do that. Any questions?
So sorry, Mark. So does it mean Tesla is a potential to grow for this coming week?
Yes, correct. Yeah, Tesla has room to the upside for this week, and also for the future as well, the weekly standpoint as well. But looking at it for this week, if we can see it, if we see Tesla open green Monday, we'll probably start to see Tesla try to get back to this 360 range we have up here. If it was to open up green. Now, if it was to open up red, then I will be looking to see what happens here at about 323. This is the level where I would say if it opens up red, I want to see what happens at this level at 323. From here, if it tests this level and we're seeing rejection, then we'll see it get to back to 340. But if it breaks beneath, then we could be going down more. But overall, again, if we open up green on Tesla, we'll probably be seeing Tesla be green and try to make it to at least 360, 370. We can be a little bit safer and call it 360 just to be more conservative on our trades. But yeah, but ultimately this week, it's looking like Tesla is going to be going up.
So if someone is looking or considering to buy Tesla, we just have to wait to see how the market reacts. Either is it going to go red or it's going to open on like green note. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So if you're looking to buy, I will wait to see because if you're looking to buy and it opens green, then you can go ahead and get it. If it opens red, then I will wait until it signifies its bottom. Because again, if it opens red and it's going down, you can probably get it for a little bit of a cheaper price than just going ahead and getting it once the market opens up. I will wait for it to establish a bottom and tell me, okay, this is the bottom of the stock price. It's going to start to go up from here, and then that's when you'll get it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So most probably it is to wait like until afternoon or like just monitoring it in the morning.
Yeah, just monitor it in the morning. What I like to do is because the pre-market starts at about 7:30, but for sure it starts at 9. I like to start to look at the pre-market around 9:30. You'll start to see people getting in. You may see a little spike, and around like 10 is where you'll start to be able to establish if it's going to be going up or down from there. Yeah, but just in the morning before the market opens, get up around like 9:15 maybe. Just look to see how it's moving, and then at 9:30 you can start to see if it's going to start to have room to go up.
Okay.
And again, if you miss the spot at like, let's say you miss the spot and it's been going up, I just tell people just stay like, don't have FOMO, fear of missing out. It's going to cool down at some point. A lot of times when the stock is running hot, it's running hot from like 9:30 to about 11. Then it'll start to cool down around 11, 12, lunchtime, and then it picks back up around like 2, 3. And you may be able to find a spot there. But yeah.
Okay. If you have time, what do you think about NVIDIA?
Yeah, I can take a look at NVIDIA. Take a look. All right. NVIDIA has been running hot. We see it started to cool down daily. Same, just similar to Tesla. What happens in the market when it opens up? So currently right now, NVIDIA is at 177. What I would like to do before I trade NVIDIA is I want to see it break above this level of 178. If we can have a nice break above 178, then I would say, yeah, go ahead and I can find a nice trade to get into. If it breaks above 178, which is our resistance, I'm looking at this potentially getting to about 185, 188, $10 range, $5 to $10 range is where I'm looking to see it get to. And again, NVIDIA, just looking at the chart, RSI level is a little high, but that stochastic is really low. So that's telling me that I have a lot of momentum to the upside that this can potentially make it to. And if the stock breaks above 180 or 178, my resistance level, that's going to give me a lot of indication that the RSI level is going to start to run up and try to get to 100. And if it was to reject and pull back, the next place I'm looking to get into a trade is going to be this 50-day moving average. So if it opens up red, I'm waiting for it to pull back and test 168. If it can test this 168 range and reject it, then I can get into a trade and I can ride it back up to this 20-day moving average. Because again, ultimately, just looking at the daily, it looks like it should trend upwards this week. But we could see a pullback first. And that pullback is going to be to about 167.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, you're absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome. What time is it? It is 6:55. All right. So I appreciate you all coming here today. Again, I appreciate you all coming here and being here with me. Ladarius wasn't able to make this meeting just because he was hanging out with some of the Discord members. If you all have any questions and you're in the Discord, feel free to just post them throughout the week and we'll be able to answer them. I'm also going to leave a link to our Discord, which is a free, this link is going to be for a free membership. Give me 1 second. Get to it. Should be. Okay. So that's our Launchpads link. That link sends you to the Launchpads where you can create an account, and then it will redirect you to our Discord. And we do have a 7-day free trial for you all that you can use and take a look at the Discord. It'll show you all of the aspects of it. We have a lot to offer within the Discord. We have plays that we do throughout the week. So if we get into any plays, we'll notify you in the Discord what plays we're in. You can take a look at it and potentially get it in yourselves. And then we also have other features like cryptocurrency, the crypto market, and we also have surveys. So we post surveys to where these surveys pay you anywhere from $50 up to $200, $300, and you can fill out for the pre-screeners. And if you get approved and you complete the survey, you will receive that, however much it is on that survey. So again, we post surveys that pay $300, $200 all the time. Nancy, you have a question?
Yes, I don't know if you could hear me. Where do you sign up to the membership, or how do you go about it? This is my first time, by the way, so I'm new to the meeting. But I heard you mentioned about the membership. I just don't see any link on my side, and I was interested in that part of it.
Yeah, so I just posted the link. I'll try to post it again. It's inside it's inside the chat. I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but I just posted it again. Are you on the desktop or or phone listening to the meeting?
No, I'm on the phone. Yeah.
On the phone. It should be like bottom left corner or somewhere. You should see like 3 dots that you can click, and then you should see a section that says messages. If you click on that for the meeting, it'll show you the messages we have. And if you don't see it, how did you sign up? Did you come through Meetup or did you come through Eventbrite?
Through the meetup.
Okay, yeah. If you don't see it, you can just send me a message, or I'll find you and reach out to you, and I can send you that link directly through Meetup so that you can have it.
Yeah, I found it. I
Okay,
think it's
cool.
here. Yes, thank you. I appreciate you.
It's absolutely welcome. Again, it is a free 7-day trial that you have, so you can just come in, take a look at the Discord, and if you don't like it, you can cancel anytime within that 7-day free trial, and you won't be charged.
Great.
Yeah.
So do you have access to the surveys as well on that date trial, or no?
Yeah. So, and I can give me 1 second. Let me.
I'm sorry, I'm just new on all of. I do have a Vanguard account, but not doing it like on a daily basis or as. I'm just a beginner.
Yeah,
So,
I understand. That's okay. And I can give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen, and I'll show you everything that you'll be able to see. So share screen. Okay. In the Discord. Okay. So this is our Discord page. Again, you won't see all of these channels because I do have admin privileges, so a lot of things will be hidden from you. But for the most part, when you log in, you'll have access to, again, the stock section, which is going to show you different trades. This is where we post different trades that we're in and what we're looking for in the market. You have options. This is another options chat. Is another page we have where we're posting option calls. and we're just letting people know what options we're getting into, and when we're getting in them, when we're getting out of them. We also tell them how much we're making for them as well, the percentages we're making. You'll have these bots as well, where we have bots in outside of a Discord where they post trades automatically. With these bots, they're not perfect, so we always tell people, if a bot posts a potential play, just take a look at it and do your own technical analysis. Take a look at the stock, see if it's setting up for you, and then you can go ahead and get in. Again, we also have the crypto section, to where Sean is posting crypto. He posts a lot of crypto throughout the day, sometimes throughout the night. But if you're into crypto, he's definitely reach out to him. And then lastly, you'll have the surveys. So I post links in the survey channel. You can see this is $150 smartphone study, 175, 125, 175. And you'll just click on the links and you'll fill out the pre-screener. So these links that I'm posting, these are the pre-screeners. If you qualify for the study, someone within that company will reach out to you, and then they'll tell you everything you need to know about the study and when it will be conducted, how will it be conducted, and then once you complete the survey, you'll get paid for it. You won't get accepted into every single study that I'm posting. So I always like to tell people, just fill out as many surveys as you can when I'm posting them. Also, come to one of the survey sessions. So I host survey sessions every Wednesday. It's on the meetup page. I'm probably going to change it to Friday just because of my schedule for work. I may change it to Friday so I can have more time to do it. But every Wednesday I'm hosting this survey session, and you can also just reach out to me in this channel. You can just say, hey, Mark, I need some help filling out surveys. I need some additional help finding surveys, and I'll be more than happy to sit down with you and walk you through everything. Yeah. So to answer your question, I guess in the long term, yes, you'll have access to the survey chain as well.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help.
You're absolutely welcome. And do I have any other questions before I close us out? Let me stop the recording. Stop. Always forget how to stop recording. Stop recording.